A very quiet and subdued good morning to everybody. Yes, please turn off any kind of ringing or buzzing or beeping devices that you may have. And let us begin the descent into the knowingness, into the beingness, into this moment. It's much easier to fall. Find ourselves into that centered space. It is our natural state. We spend all our days frenetically trying to hold on to all the things and the stuff and the sound and the noise, all those thoughts, all those things happening around us. Sometimes we just need to pretend to know, to realize that all of that is transitory. It doesn't matter. We need to find our way into that center where everything is peaceful. Take a deep breath in and let go of all those things around us, the things in our pockets. Let go of the things in our hands. Take a few deep breaths, and on the in-breath, notice something that you have holding on to, a muscle, a back, a stiffness. Just release it on that out-breath. Without engaging in it, acknowledge it and let it go. continues to move. But you are not paying attention to anything. You are not giving your attention away. You're just being. This allows you to notice so much more, because you don't give it any particular power over you. Just feel that peace. In this peace you can feel the harmony between you and the power behind everything. This is absolute peace. This is the moment behind every moment, and the space behind every space. This is your spirit self, your acknowledgement and looking in and through. Finding the centering is just like floating in a pool. You have to release the tension throughout you in order to just float, to just be. Slowly let go. God is always there to beat your heart. God is always there to breathe your breath. You don't need to make these things happen. You don't need to make life happen. center is always available to you at every moment. Always take a moment to let go so that that you can clear and center yourself. Do this throughout your day, and your life will be one of much more peace. Thank you for joining us for our meditation. Our service will begin at 10 a.m.
You are the light, you are the light, you are the light.
When I was a girl each week, on Sunday we would go to church and pay attention to the priest. He would read the holy word and consecrate the holy bread, and everyone would kneel and bow. Today the only difference is everything is holy now. Everything is holy now. goes on happens still. But now I can't keep track, 'cause everything's a miracle. Oh, everything, everything, everything's a miracle. Everything, everything, everything's a miracle. Yeah. Singing like a scripture verse, it made me want to bow my head. I remember when church let out, how things have changed since then, 'cause everything is holy now. Everything, everything, everything is holy now. Everything, everything, everything is holy now. Everything, every little thing, everything is holy now. Yeah, everything is holy now.
I'm not worried about tomorrow. Today I declare freedom from yesterday and mistakes of the past. Today all things are made brand new. And don't it feel good to know that all is well and unfolding as it should? I can change my reality by changing my mind. Perfect peace, joy and happiness is yours and it's mine. I am loved and so are you. And don't it feel good to know that all is well and unfolding as it should? Let me hear you sing, all is well, all is well. Divine Spirit is directing me right now. All is well, all is well, all is well, and unfolding as it should. I am cloaked in the Spirit, I am fed by the divine. I am one with all that is, my soul is free from time. I am blessed and so are you. And don't it feel good to know all is well? Don't it feel good? All is well. Just to know that my soul is free from time. All I got to do is change my mind. I'm free. Don't it feel good? All is well. As it should.
When the world feels heavy with sorrow and my heart hangs weary and sore, when I start to lose my faith in tomorrow and see no end to this endless wars, I close my eyes and hear a voice whisper quietly, saying peace, peace, peace begins with me. Oh, peace, peace, peace begins with me. Trying to find out way to peace, we must see that peace is the way. Peace isn't every step we take, it's how we walk through every day. So close your eyes and hear a voice whisper lovingly, saying peace, peace, peace begins with me. Oh, peace, peace, peace begins with me. every step, peace in every heartbeat, peace in every breath, peace in every moment,
Good morning, everyone.
every step.
Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living Beaumont. We'll wait for everyone to find their seats, and then we're going to go ahead and listen to our Song of the Month. Spirit in the House.
You're broken down and tired of living life on the merry-go-round, and you can't find a fighter.
That was odd. Let's try that one more time.
Spirit in the house. Yeah, yeah. I said spirit in the house. Come on, y'all. I done my time, I'm so tired. I give up on my simple mind. It's not working, I'm no good. I'm in need if I only could find the spirit in the house. Well, yeah, the spirit in the house. Lights just start, I go through. Pull me over, said the man in blue. Son, you know what you done did. I said yes, I ran a lot of bread. What's your hurry, why the race? Who you trying to keep pace with? Take your time now, it's alright. Got your answer, you can't hide from the spirit in the house. Well, yeah, spirit house. Yeah, I'm on fire. How about you? Can't you feel the spirit God in you? House ain't home, home is where love's alive when you wanna dwell in the spirit in the house. Well, the spirit in the house. Yeah, yeah. I said spirits in the house. The spirit in the house. Spirit in the house, y'all. Spirit in the house, y'all. Hey, spirit in the house.
Spirit is in the house, and so are you. Hey, look around the room. Find somebody you haven't said good morning to and say good morning. Welcome to... Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living Beaumont. I'm happy that you are here. If you are here online, please type in the chat. Let us know that you are here and that you are watching. you are a part of our community. We're glad that you're here too. If anybody's here for the first time, feel free to grab one of those blue welcome packets in the back. We'll tell you all about us. Let's start off our service this morning by reading our vision statement together. CSLB is an inclusive and transformative community of spiritual practice. Yes, it is. And I'm going to light our candle this morning, as we do, unfortunately too often, in memory of the victims of our shooting this week in Tennessee. And we recognize that the light of love and the light of God is right where everybody is who was affected by those events this week.
Good morning. I am Adrian Madden, one of your licensed spiritual practitioners here at the Center for Spiritual Living Beaumont. Please take a moment, if you haven't already, to make sure that your cell phone is courteously quieted. Turn off all beeping and ringing and all that other fun stuff. The other practitioners, I will be available after service for a brief moment of prayer on this side of the sanctuary. Please don't leave here this morning with anything on your heart. We would love to pray with you, and we absolutely know that prayer works. And for anybody that's online, on our website is a prayer request form button that you can click and you can send it to us, and we check that daily. So now we would now please allow this music to take you into the science, followed by our invocation.
Turn it over, I surrender, I let go of my fear, I release, and I remember your love is always here. Use all of me. Use all of me, all of me, God, use all of me, all my gifts, all my wounds, God, I give it all to you. Use all of me, all of me. I turn it over, I surrender, I let go of my fear, I release, and I remember your love is always here. Use all of me, God, use all of me. Take my life, take my dreams, take my lies, take everything. Use all of me. Use all of me for good. For good, for good.
Recognizing God is omnipresent. God is every person, every mouth that speaks, every ear that hears. God is omniscient. God is the sound behind every word said. God is omnipotent. God is the very power that beats every heart. I am knowing and trusting that each and every person, myself and every person here, is that perfect expression of God. That every word is that perfect expression of God. That every ear is open to hear, every mind open to receive, and every mouth will open to spread this word out into the world. I am knowing and trusting in this moment that every word here is that perfect expression of God that needs to be heard by the person who's ready to hear it. That each and every word will spread outward from and through each and every one of these people, just as God is in, through, and as each and every one of these people, whether online or in person. And that word will spread outward into the world, preparing the world and making the world a better place for each and every person in it. I am knowing all this and more is so true, and I'm so thankful for these truths. I am so thankful for this openness, this lovingness, this spreading of the word that is God. And I release my words into the perfect action in order to law, knowing it to be true, whole, and complete, knowing it to already be part of the fabric and weave of the universe as we know it and as we don't know it. I am knowing and trusting all this is true, and I let go and I let God, and together let us anchor and affirm this by saying together, and so it is.
Morning, everyone.
Good morning.
That was good. That was good. Okay. Announcements for this morning. Join the Big Leap Community Book Study by signing up to join one of the small groups. The sign-up sheets are on the windowsill right there, and we need you to sign up today. So this Wednesday, April 5th at 3 o'clock, we're having a model Seder. Okay. I need to say, right now we have 12 people signed up. Last year I had 18 people in my home, and it worked really well. We moved it, the idea was to move it here so we could get 35 people. With 12 people, I'm moving it back to my house. I've got room for 6 more people. If anybody else wants to come, that would be great. But it's 10 times easier for me to do it at home than to drag everything over here. Okay. Reservations and payments, there's a flyer, and you can contact me or Kay for more information. You can come on Wednesday and just pay there. It's fine. It's $36 is a suggested love offering, but it is a love offering. So whatever you want to contribute, that would be fine. Next Sunday is Easter Sunday, so dust off your Easter bonnets and plan to participate in the Easter Bonnet Parade. Okay, this is a celebration of life for Reverend Divine. Will be on Thursday, April 27th at 11 o'clock here in our center. So please plan to attend and honor the gift of loving leadership she brought to our center. Okay, and then each of our students of the Power of Your Word class wrote an affirmative prayer for bringing in our new senior minister. Those prayers are on display on the bulletin board in the hallway just outside the kitchen door. Please stop by and take a look and let their prayer be your prayer too. Reverend Kerry will not be in the office this week, but will be home in time for next Sunday's service. Marcia will be in the office on Wednesday and Thursday, which is her usual schedule. And the other announcement is that we have all those books in the sanctuary on the back ledge that have been donated between Reverend Divine and Corliss, and they're going to go bye-bye this week. So if there's anything you want, take it today, please. Okay, thank you.
It's the cry of a baby, the whisper in prayer, it's voices and laughter. It's the wind in the stillness, the space spaces between. It's a spark of fire. It's a seed, a flower, a butterfly's wing, a call and an answer. It's a breath, a stirring, the pulse in my veins, moves in as and through me. It's the truth, it's a knowing, it's our only design, eternally growing. It's peace, it's power, connects all to one, has no end, no beginning. It's receiving and giving. I release, I let go. Find shrugging a shoulder. Ooh.
On yet? There we go. I was using my teacher voice and didn't realize it. Hey, spring has arrived. Yes. That's not exciting? Yes. Oh, sunshine. Who knew the sky was actually blue? I was starting to worry there for a second. And it's warm. Enjoying the sunshine. Well, I'm glad that you're here. We are embarking on something new and different this morning. Gasp. Something new that we've never done before, and that is a community-wide book study. So this Sunday and for the next 6 weeks, we're going to be taking a look at the book, The Big Leap. Looks like this. And we also have some small groups going on. If you haven't heard about them, you haven't been paying attention. Or you just maybe come back after a while, that's okay too. So please make sure that you sign up for a group this morning. I am knowing and trusting that this is going to be an awesome experience for everybody. And it's a new thing that we're trying out. So be brave, be courageous, and do it with us. So this is part of kind of a larger back to basics theme we've been having going on this year. Beginning of the year, we talked about the first 4 chapters, the science of mind, our fundamental beliefs. In February, we took a deep dive into prayer. In March, we took a deep dive into affirmations and Emma Kurz Hopkins. And this is kind of continuing that theme. And you might be thinking, the big leap, what does that have to do with the science of mind? That's not Ernest Holmes. Well, the big leap is all about overcoming your hidden beliefs that keep you limited. Sound familiar? Right? Our founder, Ernest Holmes, and numerous other New Thought writers and teachers have all written about this idea of a mental equivalent. Sound familiar? Our mental equivalent is a clear picture of the life that we want in our spiritual imagination. But we can't create something that we can't first imagine. You can't create something that you can't first imagine. You can't build a table if you have no concept, no awareness, no image of what a table looks like in your mind. That's the mental equivalent. Ernest Holmes wrote about it this way. He said, "We appear to measure out for ourselves carefully and with great care the portion of life which we will experience. Figuratively," he says, "we may use an eyedropper, a spoon, or a bucket to measure. Some people seem content to use an eyedropper all the time. Others use an eyedropper for some things and a bucket for others. It would appear that there is no good reason why we should not use the larger container at all times." The larger container, that's our mental equivalent. He goes on to say, "No one or nothing ever specifies for us that we must use a small container for some experiences of life and a big container for others. What is it that determines the nature and size of the container which we use to measure life out for ourselves? Our container, your consciousness, your mental equivalent, has a specific shape and form, a pattern which is created according to the nature of our faith and our mental equivalent." So this week, next 6 weeks, as we embark on this idea of the big leap, it's all about breaking out of our old habits and our old fears and our old guilts and our old way of thinking to push us beyond what our mental equivalent is right now, here at this moment. In other words, each of us goes to the ocean of life, which is as wide and deep as you can possibly imagine. It's infinite. Some of us bring an eyedropper, some of us bring a spoon, and some of us bring a bucket. Some of us bring our bucket to the ocean of life, we fill it up, and we start to walk away, and we think, "Oh, but if I take so much, maybe there won't be enough for somebody else." And we go back to the ocean and we dump it back out. Sound familiar? Some of us go around dipping in other people's buckets because we don't know that there's an ocean. Have you ever been bucket dipped? Some of us fill up our bucket and then think it's our job to go around filling everybody else's bucket. Sound familiar? But that's our mental equivalent. What is the size? What is the shape of the container that you bring to life? How big is that bucket that you bring to that infinite life? Do you bring a spoon or a thimble? And as soon as I wrote that, I was thinking, does anybody know what a thimble is anymore? Maybe I should bring a more relative visual, like, how big is your hard drive? So, in the terms of our book, that mental equivalent is called the upper limit problem. The upper limit problem is that we have this invisible barrier in our minds about how much love we deserve, or can handle, or can have, or make. We have this invisible barrier about how much money we can make, the type of relationships we can have, the amount of life that we can take from the ocean of God. Most of us are familiar with the idea of hitting rock bottom. Hitting rock bottom is the amount of pain and suffering that we're willing to experience before we have to make needed changes. That's hitting rock bottom. But we also have an upper limit problem. And when we hit that upper limit, we start self-sabotaging. We start feeling guilty. And we start doing things consciously or unconsciously that bring us back into our comfort zone where we feel comfortable. When the amount of life in our bucket matches what we think at that moment we deserve. So in the book, they use the image of a thermostat. Now, since it's been so cold, I know you've all recently had some experience with your thermostat. And he talks about this idea that we set an upper limit for our suffering and a limit to the amount of good that we're willing to experience. It's just like a thermostat. We have that lower limit and we have an upper limit. And we go in between, up and down, those two limits in our life. But the truth is, our thermostat can go a lot higher. We all have this inner thermostat that determines the amount of love and success that we allow ourselves. He says in the book, when we exceed our settings, we tend to sabotage ourselves so that we return to the old familiar zone where we feel secure. The thermostat was set before you could think for yourself, usually in early childhood. You can consciously reset your thermostat and go all the way up to the full measure of success in love and money. So who's ready to reset their thermostat? Of course, when we have this self-limiting belief, it holds us back from achieving our full potential. And a lot of times it's the source of drama in our lives. Because when we hit that upper limit problem, we start consciously or unconsciously creating problems, creating issues that bring us back down to where we feel comfortable, where we think we deserve to be. I often think about this in terms of people who have won the lottery. If you've ever read some news about people who suddenly win, especially really big amounts on the lottery, a lot of times they win all of this money, and then all it does is cause problems and drama, and eventually all that money has evaporated. Why does that happen? Doesn't money solve all of our problems? Wouldn't just winning the lottery solve every issue? But the problem is, for a lot of lottery winners, they suddenly have more money than their consciousness, than their mental equivalent can allow. There's a mismatch. Suddenly they have all this money, but their mental equivalent, their consciousness is down here. It's like bringing a coffee cup to the ocean and pouring in a gallon. If your coffee cup, if your mental equivalent, if your consciousness can't hold all of that good, where's it going to go? It's going to overflow. It's going to soak back into the sand. It's going to dissipate. And suddenly you're left with the same coffee cup you had before. That's your mental equivalent. How can we expand? How can we bring a bigger container to life? I love this chapter in this book, The Big Leap, because there's some powerful questions that we can use to help expand our mental equivalent. So here's one. Can I allow things in my life to go well all the time? Can I allow things to go well in my life all the time? In relationships, can I live in harmony and intimacy all the time? Now, if you're like me, your tongue trips up a little bit on that word all. Is it possible to live your best life all of the time? Can you live in harmony and intimacy with your partner all the time? And if you say yes, why aren't you doing it? And if you say no, you can't have something you can't imagine. If you don't even think it's possible for that to happen, what is your mental equivalent? Or a lot of times we say, yes, but. For those of you in small groups this week, there's a nice little journaling activity about our yes buts. It usually goes something like this. Of course I could live in harmony and intimacy all the time. Yes, but it's my partner's fault we don't. If only the world would change. How much love and abundance are you willing to allow in your life? And more importantly, how are you getting in your own way? How are you getting in your own way? That's what this book is all about. That's what this next 6 weeks is going to be all about. How much love and abundance and time am I willing to allow? And how am I getting in my own way? Last week I spoke about the idea of our comfort zone, right? This bubble of consciousness in which we live our life. And I mentioned that if you don't occasionally push back that comfort zone, what happens? It starts to shrink. Our mental equivalent is the same way. We have to consciously push it out slowly and gently, and look at the ways that we consciously and unconsciously limit the good in our lives. We're going to be talking about our comfort zones and our other zones as well. The zone of incompetence, competence, excellence, and the zone of genius, where our abilities and gifts match with our passions. You see, life is always about more life. It is constantly pushing us to go back to the ocean with a bigger bucket. Ernest Holmes says, everything in the universe is a unique individualization or expression of the one thing, which is the cause of all things. You should become aware that the one creative power is expressing in you uniquely and is always pressing against you, seeking a fuller outlet of its infinite possibilities. You do not have to imitate or compete. You are a special creation of God, and you have full access to the unlimited potential of infinite intelligence. We all have equal access to the ocean of good, but we limit ourselves by the mental equivalent that we bring. I also want you to know and keep in mind as we embark on this journey that the same ideas and rules and principles that we're talking about on an individual consciousness also work on every level of consciousness. Our globe has a creative consciousness, of which we are 1/6 billionth of a part. Our consciousness adds to the global consciousness, and that consciousness is creative. We can only be responsible for our consciousness and what we contribute to that bigger consciousness. But the same rules, the same ideas that apply to our consciousness also apply to our country's consciousness and our state's consciousness. And I know that when the consciousness of our country shifts and we hit the rock bottom of suffering that we're willing to accept, I know and believe that we will no longer need to create, as a society, the experience of mass shootings in schools. But it takes a big leap of consciousness. And until we make that leap as a consciousness of our country, we will continue to experience what we have created. As I heard somebody mention, our spiritual community also has a consciousness. that consciousness is creative. We all are contributing our consciousness to that idea that is Centers for Spiritual Living Beaumont. And I know that as once again we start the search for our next and perfect senior minister, I want us to continue to do the work as a community that we need to do to expand our mental equivalent. Does CSL Beaumont as a community have an upper limit problem? How much growth and abundance are we as a spiritual community willing to allow? Are we getting in our own way? It is my hope that studying this book for the next 6 weeks, we also use the opportunity to apply these same ideas and principles to our spiritual community. How can we bring, as a spiritual community, a bigger bucket to the ocean of life and attract our next greatest community spiritual leader? Are we continuing the work of Reverend Divine to push back our comfort zone? Did you notice that she did that? Or are we falling back into what is comfortable, the ways that we've always done things, our comfort zone? This Sunday, the Christian world is also celebrating Palm Sunday, which is Jesus' entry into the city during the Holy Week of Passover. From a metaphysical perspective, Palm Sunday represents our inner journey towards spiritual awakening and transformation. The palm branches symbolize victory, triumph, and spiritual purification. They also represent the idea of letting go of old patterns, habits, and beliefs that no longer serve us, and opening ourselves up to the new possibilities and blessings that the universe has in store for us. So maybe, in perfect timing, it is great that we are starting this book this week. So this week, my challenge for you is that as you go about your life and as you meet with your small group this week, ask yourself this question: am I willing to increase the amount of time that my whole life goes well? Am I willing to increase the time that my whole life goes well? And is there any way in which I am getting in my own way? I hope over the next 6 weeks you take the opportunity to grow on your inner journey towards spiritual awakening and transformation, and letting go of old beliefs and patterns that no longer serve you. I know it's a big leap, but let's take it together. And so it is. All right, so let's enter into that atmosphere of prayer this morning. We take this opportunity just to rest in the knowing awareness that there is only one life, one principle, one creative intelligence, one ocean of good, one ocean of love, one ocean of infinite supply. It is that which I choose to call this morning God, the infinite, the all-powerful, the all-knowing, the ever-present goodness of life. I know that this creative power is living and moving and having its being as me, and I know it's living and moving and having its being as you this morning, right here and right now. That there is before you and behind you, and to the left of you, and to the right of you, and above you, and below you, there is an ocean of infinite possibility. And that each one of us is bringing our mind, our mental equivalent, our willingness, our purpose to that infinite ocean of good. So whatever it is that you are claiming this morning in the quietness of your own minds, I want you to claim from that ocean of good that which you need this morning. If you need abundance, I want you to claim it, to fill your bucket with it this morning. If you need peace or wholeness or grace or order or perfect right action, I want you to imagine filling your bucket this morning from an infinite ocean of good, from which there is always more good, more life. Claim your good this morning. And I speak my word for each one of us this morning, knowing that our buckets, our lives, our mental equivalents, our thimbles, our spoons, whatever it is that we bring is full to overflowing. And we live in the overflow. We live from a place of infinite, knowing that there is an infinite good that has got our back, that is supporting us as we grow and as we step into tomorrow, our new life, our new knowledge, our new awareness, our new consciousness. I speak my word for this morning for all of our small groups and our small group hosts, knowing that they are the vehicle for the next 6 weeks of transformation, of enlightenment, of friendliness and camaraderie and community and communion. And I bless this community knowing that for the next 6 weeks we are taking a big leap together. And isn't it great and grand and glorious? And I release this word into that infinite law that always says yes, that ocean which always brings the infinite good and the infinite love. And I release this word and know that it is complete, already in the mind of God. And so I call it good and I call it complete. And so it is.
To a higher plane. Say it with me, boys. I can't help it.
Yeah, we're doing church this morning. All right, so this is the time in our service where we get to practice one of our most important spiritual practices, which is joyful giving and circulation. If you are online or watching us later on YouTube, you can go to our website, cslbeaumont.org, or if you're like me and just like to text a friend, you can text to give at 951-420-6909. And if you are here in person, of course, we also accept all the gifts that you are willing to give this morning. So I'm going to ask our ushers to come forward as we repeat our abundance affirmation with joy and thanksgiving and all the good. Let's say our abundance affirmation. I give and receive freely and generously with an open heart and an open mind. The universe responds to me in kind. I know that my beloved community is richly blessed, and so it is.
Thank you, God, for everything. 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 Thank you, God, for everything.
As we close out our service, I invite you, if you are willing, to circle up around the sanctuary. If you would like to stay in the middle of the sanctuary and simply receive our music and our love, you're more than welcome to do so. As we sing our closing song this month, and then end with our benediction. Our closing song this month is You and Me by Eddie Watkins.
Oh yeah, come on. All right. Yeah. Oh yeah. One life living is you and me. Yeah. One light shining is you and me. Yeah. One love loving is you and me. 'Cause God is all there is. All right. One life living is you and me. Yeah. One light shining as you and me. Oh. One love loving as you and me. 'Cause God is all there is. I'm shining from the inside out. I'm so happy. I just wanna shout. Oh. One life living is you and me. Yeah. One light shining as you and me. Oh. One love loving as you and me. 'Cause God is all there is. One life living as you and me. Yeah. One light shining as you and me. One love loving as you and me. 'Cause God is all there is. I'm shining from the inside out. I'm so happy. I just wanna shout. One life living as you and me. One light shining as you and me. One love loving as you and me. 'Cause God is all there is. One life living as you and me. One light shining as you and me. One love loving as you and me. 'Cause God is all there is. One life, one life, one life, one love. One life, one life, one life, one love. One love, one life, one life, one love. All right, all right. One life, one life, one life, one love. One life, one life, one life, one love. One love.
God is all there is.
All it is, yeah.
Grateful for your tenderness.